Good evening all, and a quick video. This is a Supa Snooper. This is D for Dagless. If you don't know who Dagless is and Garth Marengify, then I'll leave you to look that up. This is the Sova-M P-99 maritime patrol aircraft, which I have redone as a snooping aircraft, a communications, intercept and interference aircraft, a Supa Snooper. Now this is not a strategic Supa Snooper like my Gulfstream Shavit based Supa Snooper aircraft, but this is one that would be operating tactically behind the battlefield, intercepting and jamming enemy communications. Because if you know where your enemy is from their communications emissions, you can hit them. If you can intercept their communications, then you can know what they're planning and hit them on the move, which is always the best way. Now that applies in both low intensity and high intensity peer-to-peer conflict. Now the aircraft is of course based on the ERJ 145 or EMB 145. I think this is the ERJ 145 regional aircraft. It is a Sova-M kit, and if you've never built a Sova-M kit before, these are limited run kits. They are not your shake and bake kits. They are, I find, difficult to produce in the hands of an expert modeler. They would be very good models. Now, I'm not an expert by any means, and the areas which I find the most difficult on these kits around the cockpit fit, the way the transparency fits, and the fuselage diameters. So the fuselage comes in two halves here, and then two halves at the rear, so 6 halves altogether. And it's really hard to get the dimensions to line up to make a nice cylinder. Now I do reinforce with plasticard behind them, but it's still quite difficult. It comes with a load off photo etch, which is rather nice. And I particularly like the photo etch windscreen wipers there. Comes with a refueling probe. I've used the one from the Netta kit for this, but it does come with a spare one in this kit for the P-99. I have got an aftermarket air graphics Milstar Dome there because I've made this into a communications intercept aircraft. This is of course what it should look like, all marked up there as the Embraer P-99 demonstrator for a maritime patrol aircraft. So I've just done this in what the US Army was considering for the ACS project. Now the beauty of these regional jets is that they are widely available and they are low cost. They're like buses to run. The Embraer P-99 comes with this large radome, and it comes with a forward-looking infrared, which isn't actually used on the kit, but I have used that, so it's got that there. So the radar can do radar mapping, it can do communications intercept, still made it with the big windows for observation if required, and I've still put the weapons points on there. It comes with lots of lumps, bumps and aerials. And I've added the chaff and flare dispensers, which actually come in an etched form with the kit. Now these yellow things under the wing, they are actually there. They are vorterons to do something with the vortexes going over and under the wings. And these are like ECM, ESM things that come in the kit. So it is a nicely detailed kit, and the other thing you have to do is you have to putty out some of the windows, which I haven't quite managed as well as an expert modeler would. And if I build one of these again, what I'll do is actually, before I've even melded the two fuselage halves together, I'll do the puttying on the windows there and sand them down, because it's a lot easier to work with the small part in your hand than once you've done it together. With this kit, I did try to work really hard on the fit and finish. The difficulty is when you are puttying and sanding on these kits, you start to remove what is some absolutely superb recessed panel lines. The detail that Sova-M does put into these kits is really good, and therefore it's really difficult to kind of draw the line between when do you stop sanding and when you lose detail. So Yeah, not the easiest of builds, but I do think if you are buying a Sova-M kit, well, you kind of know what you're buying because you've probably bought an A-Star or Sova-M kit before and you've probably got the bug. And I just don't see mainstream manufacturers producing these kind of kits, which is a real shame. You know, if you go to any airport or you fly within the States, you'll probably be flying on a regional jet to get to the main long haul airport. These are like your local buses. This one, of course, has an APU at the rear. There's a Dagless himself, and I've used some of the actual antenna that was supposed to use with this kit in another kit, so I just made my own and just tried to pick out the antennas as best as possible. I really like these kits. I love Sova-M, I love what they do. They are, of course, being made in Ukraine, so I don't know how long they will exist as a brand with A-Star. But, you know, fair play to them for trying something different. The reason I've not been able to get a much better finish and fit here is because I actually stupidly stuck on some of the small pit-up probes for airbrushing before doing the transparency. Now, it does come with canopy masks, and it does come with window masks, but in this case, because there is no interior, I just painted the windows black, because you know, otherwise you're just seeing empty interior. Personally, I think this is the future of spy aviation. These will be replacing my EC-27Ms, which have been in service for far too long in the information, surveillance, target acquisition and reconnaissance role. 9 of these in total will serve my forces, because actually for me, knowing and investing in this area of an armed force is to me way more effective than just investing in fighter jets and other things like that, because the modern battlefield is both visible in what you can see with the infrared sensor there, what you can map with the radar, and what you can intercept in terms of the enemy's communications. If you know what your enemy's thinking, you can use fewer forces to achieve the same result. And that is a big key difference. If you look at what Russia's doing in Ukraine, they are using lots and lots of forces, which would suggest that their ISTAR capabilities are not where they should be. And they haven't been able to achieve a significant breakthrough yet. And again, that would indicate that their ISTAR provision is not where it should be, because actually what you're using an aircraft like this to do, to snoop, is to find the enemy's weak points and where you can exploit them. I absolutely love this model. I hope you do too. If you are interested in a very hard build, but something which is rewarding and which is different to what Airfix and everyone else are producing, I would highly suggest Sova-M. Now, the model itself, based on the P-99, is, I believe, based on the ERJ-145XR, which has additional fuel tanks, so its range is around 2,000 plus miles. I like it with the aerial refueling probe. This can go quite far. It's not my strategic intelligence gathering, but it is a tactical super snooper. D for Dagless.